I'm meteorologist John Marshall on this Sunday, updating on Category 4 now, Hurricane Irma, which is making landfall as we speak, just east of Key West, Florida. The storm did gain a little bit of punch and strength overnight, excuse me, in the warm waters of the Florida Straits. It continues to track slowly to the north-northwest right now, and it is cutting across the lower Keys. Key West, Florida, the last hour had a wind gust up to 89 miles an hour, so there has been reports of damage and power outages throughout the Keys. The storm, again, the areas of deeper red and black, indicating that it wants to intensify, and it still has a window to strengthen Irma over the next, let's say, 12 to possibly 24 hours once it crosses over the Keys. Obviously, the Keys will not weaken the storm, but the eye is about 22 miles in diameter. It's a little ragged on the satellite loop, but it continues to move to the northwest, and it has slowed its forward speed to 8 miles an hour. So again, east of Key West by about 10 to 20 miles as we speak on this Sunday morning, about 110 miles to the south of Naples, Florida. We're going to take a look at the radar out of Key West, Florida, and it does show a pretty nice band, unfortunately, of deep oranges. That is the intense eye wall located just to the east of Key West, Florida. The Keys have been getting pounded. Miami has been getting winds close to hurricane force. The storm's wind field is expanding. The hurricane force winds now extend outward from the center of about 70 miles. So as we come closer, there's Key West, Marathon. Extreme wind warning is in effect for winds of over 100 miles an hour in gusts for the lower Keys right now, from about Marathon to Key West. So the storm, there's the eye on radar coming ashore this Sunday morning. It has made U.S. landfall, this Category 4 hurricane. And what's happening is all the feeder bands are sweeping up through southern Florida. So east coast of Florida, do not let your guard down. As this storm continues to move to the north-northwest, you're going to feel its effects all the way up as this storm continues to move slowly to the north-northwest. Here's Marco Island. It is located south of there by about 110, 115 miles, and it continues to move north. Now, with a hurricane that is making landfall or nearby making landfall, usually tornadoes can occur. And that's the reasoning we're thinking some sporadic tornadoes may occur, and a tornado watch has been issued from the Cape Canaveral area, cutting across central Florida, and all of southern Florida and the Keys. Here's the eye right there. This watch will be in effect for the majority of today. Once this storm gets its feeder bands over land, it tends to create friction with the wind, and that in turn makes a rotation of the air, which spins tornadoes. Yeah, on top of a hurricane, we have to worry about tornadoes, and they can pop out of nowhere. Folks, central and southern Florida, if you are under a tornado watch, and you are obviously in this outlined area of red, just do not go outside. You may think it's been calm. Hey, the squall went through. No way. Things change rapidly. That wind picks up incredibly fast, blows hard, and then dies off. So a tornado watch is in effect as this hurricane continues to move to the north-northwest at about 8 miles an hour. The track, the hurricane track, it's just offshore as a Category 4 this afternoon with winds of 130 miles an hour. Maybe they'll get up to 135, possibly 140. It's very warm. The ocean water or the Gulf of Mexico is between 88 and 90 degrees. So these hurricanes, as I've been telling you the last couple of days, feed off that very warm water. And the track and the cone, it takes it along the west coast of Florida, right up near Tampa, overnight tonight as a Category 3. So near the Tampa Bay area, if the storm continues at its current speed, that storm should be at your latitude overnight tonight as a Category 3, and then it sort of hooks, because that area of high pressure continues to push it to the west, into the northeastern or panhandle or the Big Bend of Florida, and then goes into southwestern Georgia, southeastern Alabama. Okay? The track, the last several days, obviously shift from the east coast to the west coast. That happens with this. We tell you not to follow the direct line, but the cone of uncertainty now, which has obviously shrunk, and the news there is that the west coast of Florida, this hurricane will graze it, stay just offshore, or maybe just come inland. And that will determine just how intense the storm is once it continues its trek north. If it goes over land, skims over the west coast of Florida, it will weaken. But the whole state of Florida is under the gun, and a tornado, or make that a hurricane warning, is in effect. This is incredibly rare. For much of the state of Florida, from about Apalachicola, that's right, all the way down in the areas of purple, the entire state from coast to coast, from north to south, down to the Keys, under a hurricane warning, meaning any one of these areas can see winds in excess of 74 miles an hour or higher for the next 12 to 24 to 36 hours as the storm gets north up into the northern latitudes of Florida. So again, we have to look out for tornadoes, obviously incredible heavy rain, torrential rain, and the storm surge. These areas can experience up to 10, 15 feet of storm surge, especially by the Naples-Marco Island area. And then as the storm comes north, pushing through Fort Myers and then into Tampa Bay. All right? Winds of 130 miles an hour, Category 4, made landfall just east of Key West. And I'm going to go back to that radar real quick because it really tells the story. The hurricane force winds extend outward 70 miles. So do the math. I mean, there's going to be gusts of hurricane force winds over southern Florida throughout the entire chain of the Keys. The storm has slowed down considerably once it left Cuba and now continues to move slowly to the northwest at about 7 to 8 miles an hour. Again, it could intensify a little bit. Just be on the lookout for the incredible heavy rain. If you still have power and watching this cast, get to a basement, get downstairs. Preparations obviously should have been completed yesterday, or maybe even the day before. But folks, this storm means business. Hunker down. We will have an update as conditions warrant over the next several hours, and probably get some video in from the Keys in southern Florida. Just stay safe down there in Florida. We know we have a lot of friends and family from the New York City metropolitan area that are in this area. Just do the smart thing. Do the smart thing when it starts to hit the fan. Do not go outside, folks, okay? Do not go outside. You can always get an updated forecast at www.johnmarshallweather.com. Have a safe Sunday.